Apologies for today's audio quality. I'm having some problems right now. Hi everyone, I'm Jade Art, but you can call me Jay. On January 23rd of this year, we finally hit 200 subscribers. So I wanted to hold a sort of celebration. I decided to do a submission type of thing where people could send in their own designs that they wanted me to redesign or showcase, or they could submit a description of the design they wanted me to design. Wait, it would be clickbait if I didn't say the thing, so let me get ready. Creating custom Pokemon for you. Alright, how'd everyone like that? Now I'd like to address something about AI and the creator of this trend. Creator is known for starting off by using AI to create the designs for their short series, but they've moved on from that. That doesn't mean that excuses for what they've once done. And I know a lot of us artists and people who commission artists for designs feel awful about the whole AI generating situation in the art community. I want to make it very clear that I never have or intend to use AI to create any form of art. It really takes away from the feeling art gives you and is just plain plagiarism, and that isn't okay. That being said, AI can be helpful in some situations. You have to learn how to use it correctly and where to use it. Art is not a place to use it. Alright, let's move on. The first person to submit a response was Camp Laszlo Rules 2K11. I'll just call them Laszlo so it's not a mouthful. But go check out their Twitter, or X if you call it that. I don't have Twitter, so I don't get to check them out, so do that for me, please. I also asked the submitters to write down their favorite Pokemon, and Lasso said theirs was Rhydon. Great choice. But let's get into the design process. This was a time where my art style was evolving, so for the next few videos, you will see me design a Pokemon and then redraw it almost the same, but it's really me updating the style. So they described the design they wanted me to make as the following. Steel fighting single stage based on spatulons from the Impossible Quiz. They have a spatula-shaped blade on their tail which they use for combat, and a spatula-shaped helmet, like crest, covered in palladium with a yellow stripe in the middle. The design is faithful to the spatulon while still looking for a Pokemon. I didn't know what a spatulon was, but I did some research and discovered that they are an alien species in the Impossible Quiz game that are, as the name suggests, closely tied with spatulas. Their tails are spatulas, so I knew I had to have that in the design. They have a rivalry with some other alien species called Flovomites, which are blue sort of bug-like creatures, but we'll get to those in a bit. I wanted to go with a very ready to pounce type of pose, and I eventually got to that. I will admit, at first I thought spatulons were the villains, so I did a sketch that made them look very evil. But eventually I did actually do my research and quickly changed it. I made sure I had everything in the design that they wanted, and then I was done. So here is Pelagula, the Tool Raptor Pokemon, a fighting and steel type. Pelagula are quick and intelligent Pokemon. They are said to come from a different planet and create their own tools. Their tails strangely resemble spatulas. It is unknown if humans modeled the it is unknown if humans modeled the cooking tools after this Pokemon's tail or not. Its ability is Steel Worker and competitive, and its hidden ability is Speed Boost. Next up is Laszlo's Bonusmon. This one is based on the other alien I mentioned earlier, the Flovomite. I knew since these were described as hostile, I wanted to go for a big hulking creature that looks like it could rip you to shreds if it wanted to. I also wanted to make a bug type just for some variety. I also didn't want it to just be a big blue blob, so I referenced the suit that the Flovomites wear. The ends of the uniform, like the collar, the sleeves, or the pants, have a yellow seam, and then the actual uniform is white. I think that I accidentally made it look like a WWE fighter with the kind of shorts pattern on it, but I do think it fits well. Overall, that was a nice side challenge, and we can introduce Flowomite, the brute Pokemon, a fighting and bug type. It is seen that Pelagula and Flowomite have an intense rivalry. Flowomite will randomly pick fights with Pelagula to wear them down and eventually take over their territory. This never works though, as Flowomite have tiny brains and cannot process information fast enough. Its ability is sturdy and Iron Fist, and its hidden ability is No Guard. Alright, moving on to the second and last person who submitted. This person I know on YouTube. Their name is Litwick Productions, but on Instagram it's Professor Litwick S Tree. But let's call them. Oh wow, we have a professor here. All right, Professor Litwick. What did you wish for me to draw? All right, here's the clip. Okay, so in that clip was their rock type Litwick, and they said they weren't satisfied in how the design came out, so they wanted me to redesign it. Before we get ahead of ourselves, though, let's see what his favorite Pokemon is. Oh, this one's pretty difficult. Oh, it's Litwick. I never could have guessed. Alright, jokes aside, let's get into the first design. So I really just had to make this rock like Litwick fit more as a first stage, as I feel like the design they created in the video was a bit too large. So I kind of just shrunk it and I made the colors more like in lines of ancient Greek columns, as I assumed that was the main inspiration for the design. I had a cool plan for the rest of the line, but I don't want to get into that now. Overall, I simplified the design and made it more Greek inspired and added a small fire on top. Here is Petrian Litwick. The quote unquote regional name is from the Greek word for stone Petra. It's not a hint to any future region or anything, I just wanted to give it a regional name. The Architecture Pokemon, a fire and rock type. Petri and Litwick are Pokemon that have a taste for art. They will help architects finish their projects even if it means they become a part of the building. Studies have shown that there is some sort of phenomenon between Litwick forms that cause them to be able to leave the object they inhabit and go into other ones. Its ability is Column Commander, and its hidden ability is Sturdy. This new ability Column Commander works by having the Pokemon out on the field. When it enters the battle, it scans to see if either of the trainers have a Petrian Litwick in their party. If they do, the Petrian Litwick becomes unusable, but the Pokemon gets a stat increase. I know that sounds confusing, but maybe listen to it a few more times and it may make sense. Alright, before we move on to Professor Litwick's two bonus Pokemon, I would like to ask you to like and subscribe. I really want to hit 300 subscribers by the end of the summer, and I'm even trying to get videos out while I'm going to be gone. So please help a dedicated artist out and go down there for me. Anyways, let's move on to the final two designs of the video. Alright, so moving on to Petrian Lampent. Or is it? Nope, it's Pillar. Now, Litwick, I know that your whole different Litwick type series is to make the whole line the same Pokemon but a different type, but I feel like this way too different from Lampent to be of the same species. Anyways, I knew I wanted this design to resemble their original rock Litwick design closer, so I made it a taller pillar. It really is just evolve and get bigger here, but I promise this is just a small stepping stone to the final evolution, which will have a huge change. In my opinion, if one design has to suffer from evolve and get bigger syndrome for the evolution of that mon to be completely different, I'm okay with that. Introducing Hilaire, the Architecture Pokemon, a fire and rock type. Hilaire are aggressive Pokemon to their pre-evolutions. They blend in with old ruins of the region they come from, slamming down onto unsuspecting targets like a broken column. Its ability is Column Commander, and its hidden ability is Sturdy. Alright, final design of the video, and this one is a big one. Literally, it's huge. I knew I wanted to do some sort of Metagross route where each stage of the line made up the final stage in the end. So I ended up evolving this line into the Parthenon in Athens. It was pretty simple designing where I just changed two of the pillars to be broken in the middle and sport a flame flowing from it. In the empty space between the base and the roof, I added a face from the previous stages. I finally added a cage-like part at the bottom of its belly, as you would call it, that holds what I assume is the soul of the Pokemon. For the last time today, here is Pyrothenon, the architecture Pokemon, a fire and rock type. Pyrothenon are extremely rare Pokemon and cannot be found in the wild. The cage under its body holds its soul in a flame form. It is said that the Parthenon in the city of Old was a Pyrothenon. Its ability is Column Commander, and its hidden ability is Sturdy. Alright, so once again, thank you to Laszlo and Professor Litwick for submitting your ideas. I had such a good time designing them, and I'm grateful for at least some people wanted to submit to this celebration. Again, please subscribe because I really want to hit 300 subscribers on this channel by the end of the summer. I'll have more videos out to you soon. Anyways, I've been Jay, and I'll see you all next time.